Good morning, students. So let's start. So last time we started studying. Yes, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What? Photoelectric effect. So we saw when there is a metal and there is an anode. So when light falls on the metal, the electrons are ejected, right? But then we saw that considering light as a wave is not correct idea. It's a wrong picture. Correct picture is light should be thought of as photons, packets of energy, which will fall on electron. So it will one photon will collide with one electron, and it will take the electron out. Right. So if energy of this photon is sufficient to take out the electron, it will take out the electron. Otherwise, it won't. So it's a collision process. It is not a process in which a continuous wave supplies energy to electron. Right. Therefore, uh, and uh, and this one packet has energy h into nu. E is equal to h times nu. So frequency of one packet depends on frequency. So if this is monochromatic light, then all packets have same energy. In monochromatic light, all packets have same energy. Of course, if you change the frequency, then energy will change. All of you understand what we mean by monochromatic. It has only one frequency or one wavelength or one color. If it is a mixture of color, then different photons will have different energy. So we will always consider monochromatic light. So if you have some frequency of photon is fixed, so energy is fixed, and if that energy is sufficient to take out the electron, then it will come out. So there is something called work function, that is a minimum energy required to take out the electron. Right. So you might need little more energy also, but you can't you can't this is a minimum, so you will have to have, it will definitely spend this much energy to come out. So if h nu is less than 5, now this depends on the metal, this depends on the material. right? So if the energy is less than 5, then no electron will come out. Because all these packets will collide with different electrons, but they don't have sufficient energy to take out the electron, and therefore there is a threshold frequency. There is a threshold frequency below which we see no photoelectric effect. Right? And also, so it's a collision process. If photon collides, if it has enough energy, it will take out the electron immediately. And if it doesn't have enough energy, then it won't come out. So there is no delay. Since it's a collision process, which happens almost instantaneously. Therefore, there is no delay. Between switching on of light and for the photocurrent. Okay. So this explains first two experimental observations. Now we will go to the last observation. The last observation was photocurrent stopping potential increases. So why the stopping potential? I have said all this, but I'm quickly revising because they are important points. Why the stopping potential increases with frequency. Right? So we had, as we have seen, there is h nu energy of the photon minus phi, that is a work function. So this much energy is definitely spent. More may be spent, but this much is definitely spent. So this is the maximum energy electron can have when it comes out. So this is, and all the energy electron has is kinetic energy. Right? So this is the maximum kinetic energy electron can have, and that is equal to h nu minus phi. Because phi is the work function, so that is the minimum energy electron requires to come out. Right? Some electrons might need more energy, so their velocity will be less than this, because less energy will be remaining as more energy is spent in coming out. Right? So, and we have seen that. So this is the energy electron has, and now so with if there is a negative potential here, and then electron will get decelerated because of negative potential. It will repel, and energy lost when even the fastest electron stops, that potential is the stopping potential. So when fastest electron also loses all its energy, that is the stopping potential, right? And if electron is decelerated to potential difference, all of you know, if when electron is accelerated through potential difference V, Q into V is the energy gained, or if it decelerates through potential difference V, then QV is the energy lost, where Q is the charge and V is the potential difference. So we have E times V. E is the charge on the electron, and मैं नोट्स नहीं देने वाला हूं, तुम ये जो मैं लिख रहा हूं इसके वीडियो की लिंक्स दे रहा हूं, तुम यहां से नोट डाउन करो या बाद में वीडियो देख के तुम स्नैपशॉट, जो मैं लिख रहा हूं वही नोट्स है। ओके, तो समझने की कोशिश करो और तुम भी जॉट डाउन कर सकते हो कुछ पॉइंट्स। और मैं बुक का कॉपी देने ही वाला हूँ, बुक का कॉपी दिया है मैडम ने। हाँ? Right, so stopping potential E times V naught. V naught is the stopping potential. That is, if you apply sufficiently high negative voltage here, photo current becomes zero. So that means all the electrons, no electrons reaches here. So electron current stops, and that happens at voltage V naught. So we have this equation: H nu minus phi is equal to E times V naught. So if you write this as V naught is equal to H by E times nu minus phi by E. Now this is like equation of straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. So m is equal to h by E and c is equal to minus phi by E. So if you plot stopping potential, so from this formula you see stopping potential is proportional to nu. So as frequency increases, stopping potential increases. That is because each photon has more energy. If nu is more, energy is more. So maximum energy of the electron coming out is more, and therefore you need more voltage to stop it. Okay. So you get this is a straight line equation. So you if you plot V naught versus frequency, then you get a straight line like this. And this intercept is minus phi by phi 1 by E. If you take different material, then you will get a different straight line, but parallel to this, because the slope is always constant. Slope is given by fundamental constants h by E. No, this is minus phi 2 by E. Phi 2 for the second material. Right? So if nu is large, then energy of these packets is large. So these packets have they bombard with a lot of energy. So electrons coming out have more energy because amount phi is spent in coming out, but then remaining is h nu minus phi. So if electrons have more energy, you need more negative potential to stop it. So therefore stopping potential increases with frequency, and it increases linearly with frequency. Okay. I will draw one more graph and then that will finish photoelectric effect. I have drawn this before. If you plot I, that is photocurrent versus VAC, that is voltage at anode, this is anode and this is cathode. Right? So at 0 VAC also we get some current, and when this voltage is positive, and if you increase the voltage, current will increase and then it will saturate. Because once whatever electrons can come out at that intensity of light, once they have come out, then just by increasing voltage, you cannot take out more electrons, so current will not increase. See, current is number of charges per unit time, number of charges crossing per unit time. So if number of charges is fixed, then current won't increase. Now if you make VAC negative, like this negative and this positive, then also you will see some current, but it will go on decreasing, because charges will be decelerated, they will be stopped, and then current will stop at V0. V0 is the stopping potential. So this happens at one intensity of light. Now let's say if you double the intensity, then current will increase, and with voltage, if you increase the voltage in positive side, it will increase, again it will saturate, but at a higher value. But if you make voltage negative, then again it will decrease, but it will come to zero exactly at the same point. So V0 does not depend on intensity. The stopping potential does not depend on the intensity of light. Why is that? Though current depends, forward current, photo current is more for more intensity, but when at which negative voltage current stops, that does not depend on intensity, but that depends on frequency. So we have already seen why it depends on frequency because of this equation. Now we will try to understand why it does not depend on intensity of light. Right? So intensity of light, if you add this, all these photons, then you will get some wave with some amplitude. Right? Now if there are more photons, I am teaching photoelectric effect. I have started it in the last lectures, and today I am finished. I will finish it and start with new topic. I am teaching photoelectric effect. You might
सर
have
चैप्टर का नाम क्या है सर?
But in 12th you do it, though you don't do it, study it in so much of details. Now we are doing it in great detail.
सर
yes?
चैप्टर का नाम क्या है?
अच्छा, चैप्टर का नाम ये 38.1 38 चैप्टर में सेक्शन 1 है. ओके
ओके सर.
अच्छा, मेरा इसका वॉल्यूम, मैं आज मेरा हर रोज का लैपटॉप काम नहीं कर रहा है, तो मैंने इसका वॉल्यूम कम है, वॉल्यूम बढ़ाता हूँ, इसलिए तुम्हारी शायद आवाज मुझे सुनाई नहीं. अभी बोलो. ठीक है, तो अभी हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि ये इंटेंसिटी ज्यादा क्यों है. इंटेंसिटी ज्यादा मतलब मोर नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स. राइट, समझ लो कुछ ट्यूबलाइट से जब भी लाइट आती है उसमें बहुत सारे फोटॉन्स होते हैं, मोर मिलियन बिलियंस ट्रिलियंस ऑफ फोटॉन्स आर देयर. बट सनलाइट की लाइट में और भी ज्यादा होते हैं, बहुत से भी बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं. So intensity means more photons, right? So if you have more photons and if you add, then you will get a wave with bigger amplitude if you add them all together, right? So classical picture is before photon picture, wave with more intensity means more amplitude. Right, so that is correct, that is not wrong. But light does not behave as wave in some experiment. In some experiment, it does behave as wave. In some experiment, it does not behave as wave. Right? So basically, what we are saying is light is not continuous. It is in the form of small packets. But then there are many packets. You don't realize that they are in packets. You see it as a wave. Right? But in this kind of experiment, photoelectric effects, the effect of packets is seen. Okay, because it is a collision between packet and electron, and then electron comes out. Okay. So more intensity means more packets. So more electrons will come out because there will be more collisions, right? That's why with intensity, current increases because there are more number of packets, right? So more electrons come out, and current is number of electrons crossing per unit time. All right. So as intensity increases, current increases, because there are more photons, and hence more electrons are ejected. Okay. But though more electrons are ejected, all of them have a energy less than this, which is decided by phi, nu and phi. Right? H nu minus phi is the largest energy. Even if there are more electrons, the largest energy of electron is given by H nu minus phi. Therefore, stopping potential does not increase with frequency. Only current increases with, stopping potential does not change with intensity, because even if you increase intensity, keeping frequency same, if you increase intensity, still the maximum energy of electron will be same, though there will be more number of electrons, right? So one has to understand this. More frequency means more energy of photon, and more intensity means more number of photons. More frequency equal to more energy of photon, of individual photon, and more intensity means more number of photons. Just a minute. Right? Of course, if there are more photons, total energy will be more. But individual energy of individual photon is not more. That is same. Right? And in photoelectric field, because it is collision between electron and individual photon, the energy of electron coming out depends only on the energy of individual photon. This is the crux of the matter. This you have to understand. Okay. So now we will start with a new topic. I will clear all this. So with this, photoelectric effect is complete. Okay, there is one more point I will make. not of photoelectric effect, but because of photon picture. So any particle should have momentum. That is what we think. Particle should have momentum. So if light behaves as particle, that is photon, then it should have momentum. And so momentum of photon is given by P is equal to h by nu. This formula comes from relativity. So we have not studied relativity, though Einstein had introduced relativity in the same year, in 1905, special relativity. But since we have not learned it, we will directly take this formula. Sorry, I have made a mistake. It is not h by nu. It is e by c. This is not correct. And e, as we know, it is h into nu by c. So e is equal to h into nu. This is h into nu by c. Right? And we know lambda nu is equal to c. So nu is equal to 1 upon lambda. Sorry, c upon lambda. Right? So we have hc by c lambda. So c will cancel and you get h by lambda. So final formula we get is P is equal to h by lambda. One can write anything. If you are given frequency, then you can write h nu by c. If you are given lambda, you can write right. This formula comes from special relativity. Which was introduced by Einstein in 1905. Say the same year in which he gave photoelectric theory of photoelectric effect. Right. So with this we now go on to new topic, that is X-rays. Okay, I will clear this. You know, X-rays have very small wavelength, so large frequency, therefore large energy. So X-rays are important because they have a lot of applications. You know, in medicine industry, they are used a lot because of X-rays. We can do so many types of diagnosis and also cure. So for example, fracture in bone, we can find out through X-rays, or the CT scan, or there is as a cure for cancer treatment. This radiation is used, right? So of course, one gets X-rays from radioactive decay, but radioactive, I mean, that is dangerous. You can't have radioactive material everywhere. So there are, so you need other ways to produce X-rays also. And so today we are going to study one way of simple way of producing X-rays. Right. So, though it is simple, it uses very high voltage. So I will draw a diagram. So this is there is a vacuum inside. So there are no gas or very small number of gas molecules. Then there is a filament which acts like a cathode. It is heated cathode. So this is a power supply to heat the cathode. And then there is a target here. And then there is very large voltage between these two. See, I've shown so many batteries because this voltage is large. Really, tens of thousands of volts, 10,000, 20,000. It's really large voltage. The voltage of the power supply we get in at our homes is just 230, 230 volts. But this is not just 1,000, it is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So much voltage is applied here. Now what happens whenever when the filament is heated, it emits electrons. This is called thermionic emission. Any metal, if it is heated, it will give out electrons. Right? Then, so electrons come out from here. So just a minute. right? And because of that large voltage, positive voltage, see at anode we have positive voltage, so electrons are negatively charged, they get attracted towards that positive voltage. So this is anode. So they move very fast because of they get accelerated, right? So the electrons get accelerated towards anode, and hit the anode with very large energies. Because of very large voltage applied between anode and cathode. Okay. So this anode is usually made up of nickel or molybdenum. Okay. Now what happens when electrons collide? When electrons collide the anode, electrons suddenly they stop. They lose in their energy to the anode. So when the electrons hit the anode, they are so they suddenly lose their energy and get decelerated. Decelerated is opposite of acceleration. So they, right? And we know when any charge when it is accelerated or decelerated, it emits radiation. Any charge when it is accelerated or decelerated, it emits electromagnetic radiation. Right? So because see the electrons hit the atoms of the target, so few electrons come, they will stop, there will be head-on collision and they will stop there near the atoms. So they will lose all its energy. But some electrons will lose only part of its energy and will get deflected. You understand? Some electrons will completely lose energy and stops, but most of the electrons will get deflected and they lose some amount of energy. So different electrons will lose different amount of energy. Is this dog disturbing you?
No, sir.
Okay. So, right. So here also these charges get decelerated So they emit radiation. They emit radiations of different frequencies, so different energies. Also, but they it falls in X-ray region, right? So this radiation falls in X-ray region. So that depends on the voltage, how much energy we give, that decides in which region it will lie. So if you when you apply voltage of tens of thousands of kilovolts, tens of thousands of volts, that means 10 kilovolts or 20 kilovolts, then whatever radiation you get out is in X-ray region. I don't know if how many of in gone to dentists and seen dentists. Sometimes they take X-rays. There is some machine they put in the mouth, and then between teeth and cheek they put small X-ray film, and then they shoot X-ray and take a photograph. They exactly use this a similar kind of tube. It is called Coolidge tube. Okay. So this is called bremsstrahlung. When any charge, when it is accelerated or decelerated, it emits electromagnetic radiation. Such a radiation is called as bremsstrahlung. It's a German word. It means braking radiation. Okay, break, because we break electrons put when we break we decelerate, right? So that's why it is called braking radiation. Just a minute. Right, so I will clear this. Right, so if you plot graph of intensity versus wavelength, radiation, whatever radiation is coming out, you measure its intensity at different wavelengths, then you will get a graph like this. Now let's say this is at 50 kilovolts, when the voltage is 50 kilovolts. If you decrease the voltage, say 40 kilovolts, then you might get a graph something like this. So this is 40 kilovolts, that is 40,000 volts. If you change it further, say 30 kilovolts, you will get a graph like this. This shape should not be different. This is by mistake it has come different. If you decrease it say further, right? So you notice there is a maximum. So this say let's say this is 20 kilovolts. There is a maximum which shifts to the higher wavelength. And then there is a minimum wavelength. Lambda min 1, lambda min 2, and so on and so forth, right? So for given any voltage, there is a minimum wavelength, and that minimum wavelength increases with the voltage, and maximum also increases. So we will try to understand why we get lambda minimum. What it means is, if my voltage is 50 kilovolts, I will not get any radiation with wavelength less than this minimum wavelength. If I apply 40 kilovolts voltage in that tube, then I won't get any radiation below this wavelength, lambda minimum 2. All the radiation will be above. Then it will increase, reach maximum, and then it will decrease for large wavelength. Okay. So we will try to understand why we get this minimum. So one should understand, if there are electrons getting bombarded. Electrons have energy. The electrons reaching the anode have energy E times V. They are getting charge. E is a charge on the electron, and they are getting accelerated by voltage capital V. Thus, right? So electron might have some initial energy, but then that is very small, because this capital V is very large, thousands, right? So energy electrons have is E times V. Now some electrons will lose, as we have said, lose all its energy, and some will lose part of this energy. So which the electrons which lose all its energy, the photon coming out because of that collision will have maximum energy, and all other photons will have smaller energy, right? So there is so EV is the energy of the photon with maximum energy, because that photon will be emitted when electron loses all its energy, and energy of electron is E times V, right? So the photon with maximum energy will be H nu max. So this is a photon with maximum energy, and that energy will be equal to V. You cannot have more energy than E times V, because electrons don't have more energy than E times V. Maximum energy electrons can lose is E times V, right? So therefore, there is a maximum frequency. Beyond this frequency, you cannot get any radiation. And frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional. Nu is C by lambda, right? So when there is maximum energy, that corresponds to minimum wavelength. Okay, so we have this formula, Hc by lambda min, or if you write lambda min is equal to Hc by E V, and these three are just fundamental constants. So lambda min is inversely proportional to voltage. So that's why as voltage decreases, lambda min increases. Right? So this is a formula for lambda min. So one can, for example, one can find out this lambda min. Say for V equal to 10,000. So H is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 34. C is 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. That is charge of the electron. And let's say this is 10,000. This voltage is 10,000. So it is 10 raised to 4. Can you do this calculation? I think it comes to 1.125 angstroms or something like that. Check this. I will put this question mark here. Okay. So I'll just in 1 minute, 2 minutes, I will describe applications. I've already done, but I will just describe applications in detail and then we will stop. So I will clear this. As we have said, X-rays have applications in medicine. So X-rays have large penetrating power. So they are used to analyze interior structure of a solid. For example, metals, bones, etc. So you have heard about CT scans. That is computer tomography. So in this X-ray with X-ray beam, very focused X-ray beam, one can scan even the interior of body. One can scan the interior of the body, and with computer interface generate the whole image. Okay, so it's a but X-rays have disadvantages also. So they can damage biological tissues, and sometimes even if the damage is not visible, they can alter the functioning of cell. For example, the reproductive system can get affected. Right, so one has to be careful. So one has to keep track of how much exposure to X-rays one is having, and all that is taken care of. So what should be the intensity of X-ray? What is allowed intensity? So all that is taken care of, and it is used very carefully. So one has to be careful with X-rays. Okay. So with this, we will stop. Is there any question? If there is no question, I will. Do you have any other lecture immediately? There is no other lecture. I will end the meeting.